Hey guys, welcome back to another one of my tool pick videos. This is not a flea market finds thing. This is an industrial on-site auction I went to. This is a machine shop out in Western Mass that I don't know if they were closing up for retirement or going out of business or what the deal is, but occasionally those come up in our area close enough for me to want to drive out. This one was an hour away, but I decided, set the time aside. It was an on-site auction. A lot of these that they run now, they do not allow on-site bidding. It's all remotely done on computer, and I don't like those because you got to drive out to do the inspection anyways. I like to drive out on the on-site ones early enough to get the inspection done right while I'm there. I've seen all kinds of strange things happen. I've seen people take stuff out of boxes and move them and hide them in other boxes just so they could bid on something that isn't very valuable and kind of steal that item. Well, quite frankly, that is theft. Case in point, when I got to this auction that morning and was doing my preview, I don't remember exactly what the item was, but there was a Starrett item in the original case in a cabinet that was shown in the catalog. And when I got there and I got to that cabinet, the case was in there and the case was empty. So I immediately pointed it out to one of the people working at the auction because I didn't want somebody to see me looking in that cabinet and then go and say, hey, this thing's missing. So then something unusual happened. The auction started. I bid on and won 2 items, which I'm going to show you. And then I got a call from home. And I got a call from home from my son, who informed me that he happened to notice that the sump pump had stopped working. And he was starting to see water come up in the corner of the basement. So I immediately had to leave. And they wouldn't let me check out because they hadn't even set up for checkout at that point. So I ended up having to go back the next day just to pay for the 2 items that I bought. But as luck would have it, I asked, hey, do you have a pass list? Now, a pass list is any items that are passed during the auction. They'll make a note that they were passed, but then oftentimes the auctioneer will offer them to people picking up items later. So if you know to ask for the pass list, you can go around, you can look at what was passed, and if you want to put in an offer, they may or may not accept it. Oftentimes the offer that they're looking for has to be the minimum that they were looking for to open it. So sometimes it's just not worth it. But I was able to buy several items that were on the pass list. So I ended up getting a decent haul for my time and trouble of driving out there 2 days in a row. Was it worth it? I don't know. This is one of the items I actually bought right there on site. They had a few, like maybe 4 or 5 sets of parallels. And when they got to this set, they couldn't get an opening bid of $5. So I put my hand up and the guy said sold. So this is a set of parallels that are not so great. They got a little bit of damage. But it's a set, you know, and what the heck, for $5? These are good beater parallels when you don't want to necessarily use the best. And they're still perfectly serviceable. They've just got some oopsies in there, right? And they got this little wooden case. So, anyways. So this is one of the only other items I actually bought at the live auction before I had to leave. And this is a Starrett, genuine Starrett, model 913.5. So it's actually kind of a weird number. 913.5. So I was like, that's cool. I've never seen one. I didn't even know that Starrett made this style of drill press vise. And certainly appears like that's the original handle by the looks of it. Seems to work perfectly fine. The condition is great. The jaws don't appear to have any damage. I don't even see any peck marks down in here when you open the jaws up, which lots of times you see these style vices and they've got damage down the bottom. This one just seems like it's in great shape. And I got this for $35 plus the 15% buyer's premium and the tax, but still, I thought that was a pretty good deal for this thing, especially since I've never seen one. Now, valuation on this is a little tough. There's only one of these currently on eBay. The guy's asking $90 your best offer, but his has the damage that you tend to see on these. It's not in as good a shape as this one, and I can't find any previous sales of any of these. So I don't care, because I just thought it was really kind of cool and I like it. So there's another item that was passed, and I ended up putting in an offer of $20 and got this for $20. This is a 5C collet fixture. So this will take standard 5C collets, and it's got a locking kind of like nut, for lack of a better term. It's missing a screw. That's easy enough to find, right? And the way this works is this lever flips up like this. You screw in the collet, put your piece in there, and when you push down on this, it will clamp down. So it's a quick release. And then it's either could be used standing up vertically like that on the mill, or you could flip it this way. Okay? It's set up so it can be held down with your regular hardware, and the T-slot's easy enough. So it's kind of a neat thing. I would keep it, except I already have one. I have the same exact one already. So this, but for $20, and then again, 15%, what's that, another $3, 6%. I'll probably enter this for like $25. So my plan is to try and sell that for like 40 or 45. It's actually very, very nice condition. Very, I was gonna say clean, but what I mean by clean is not all chipped up or damaged. But it is filthy. This next item, I put in an offer of $50 and they accepted it. I was not too excited about this because I've got a couple of these now that I haven't sold. Not for lack of trying. I mean, I just haven't gotten around to trying to sell them, and they're a pain in the butt to ship because of the size and the weight. This one looks like it was underneath. It's got a lot of swarf that's stuck to it, so whatever coolant they were using, just spraying on this box, and everything on God's green earth that was floating around in that shop apparently wanted to stick to it. But what's in here is a nice radius grinding wheel dressing tool, and the thing that caught my eye about this one is, let me get it out here and look. Tilt it back right here, we've got a label that clearly says made in Japan. So this is a little bit better quality. They do make this same unit as an import from some of the cheaper companies like Taiwan, China, India, but this is going to be a little bit better quality. And then I think Brown and Sharp made one of these, which is probably considered to be like the cat's pajamas as far as these go. Also in there was, this is interesting. So sitting in the box with this was this. Took me a second to realize it, but I think this is a cylindrical square. It's got the relief on the bottom, precision ground surface here. For some reason it's got a step cut into it here. But I mean, I can't think of one reason why this would be some sort of accessory for this. I think this is just a standalone cylindrical square that somebody made. I also don't know what's going on up here. They got this weird relief cut into it for some reason. I don't know if that was an oopsie or what. So if you've never seen one of these before, the way it works is you put your, it's actually got one in here now. So there's your diamond right there, used for dressing the wheel. Okay. But what this can do is this can actually rotate like this, right? So if you see, now we're sweeping that diamond in an arc. So if I had my surface grinder's wheel underneath this and I was doing this, I could dress a convex surface to the grinding wheel. Now I can use my grinding wheel to grind a concave slot, right? Concave area. And we can have a rough adjustment here on this dovetail to set this, so we can set the radius that this arc is traveling on, right? But in addition to that, we also have the ability, so I'm turning this larger knob here, right? And that's swinging it around. But then there's a second knob here, and the second knob, see what that does? That moves this surface on this dovetail. So if we set it, let's see, so there's actually a, so if I set this to 0, all right, now if I use just this other knob, now I'm sweeping back and forth, right? So right now, if it was underneath that wheel, this would be just like for dressing it normal, right? But dressing it so that the surface is flat and parallel to the surface of the table of the grinder. But you could see that if we decided to put this at, say, 45 degrees, right? And now we do this, I can actually chamfer the edge of the grinding wheel or put a bevel on the grinding wheel. I could do that on both sides of the grinding wheel and turn the grinding wheel into a V groove grinder, or whatever. I mean, there's a number of different things you can do with it, but that's what the purpose of this unit is, if you've never seen one before. And it's well worth, with the buyer's premium and the tax, I'm into this for about 60 bucks, and it's well worth it. Here's an item I'm going to keep for myself. The gentleman who was working the auction there, when I was picking up my stuff, when I asked him about this, he told me this was a $20 opening bid. So I said, I'll take it. So I got these for 20 bucks, plus the buyer's premium and the tax. I'm now wondering whether or not, during the day of the auction, if when they got to this lot, if the auctioneer wasn't trying to get $20 opening bid a piece on these, and that's why it was passed. Because I'm kind of surprised that if it was $20 opening just for all 4 of these, nobody jumped on this. I mean, these are expansion collets, so they're 5C, right? And I could use these like in, well, for instance, any 5C fixture, like that one that I just showed you, right? So I happen to have it still here. So I get this big one here, this monster, this little one, and then this one, which had some, I don't know what the heck happened to this thing, but I don't care. That screams. Look at how nice that pattern is. Nothing like CNC in it wrong, right? All right. So the way these work is when you back this nut out, okay, these fingers, for lack of a better term, are going to allow you to put on something of a particular diameter. And then when you tighten this screw, there's a tapered end in this. It's going to push these out and cause a clamping force to be exerted on the inside of that diameter. So this is a way to hold something in anything that's going to accept a 5C, right, for an operation. So they're kind of handy to have, I think. I don't have any right now, so that's why I was glad to get these for 20 bucks. Speaking of items that I do not believe that they intended to sell for as cheap as they sold for, as cheap as they ended up selling to me, but I was grateful. They had a lot of miscellaneous, I believe they called them vise handles. And this was amongst them. Along with all of these. And they had more than one lot, and I think they sold them. So maybe it's quite possible that maybe they couldn't get the opening bid of 10 bucks on these, because maybe they just had sold so many up until that point. But I mean, for the whole lot, 10 bucks? So maybe it was supposed to be 10 a piece, but I got this whole lot for 10, plus the premium and the tax. So I'm into this for less than 15 bucks for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 handles. These, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 that have been modified. Either the ball broke off or they removed them intentionally to put a cheater bar over it to really put more pressure on them. Okay, but these all appear to be the old standard hex Bridgeport. Might also fit the collets, I don't know. Then this one is relatively unmolested. This one's actually got a part number on the 60-23. That might be a genuine Bridgeport one. Then there's this one with the fancy schmancy color coding on it. Oh, that one's clearly marked. It's a collet. That's nice. That one's in great shape. And then last but not least, we've got this in here, okay, which is, says it's a Sierra. I can't quite make out what this says, but it says Sierra, and then it looks like it says Quill Master down here. So this looks like this says Sierra Mold and Engineering, but this looks like it's a quill handle for a Bridgeport J-head, maybe? I don't know. I have a Wells Index, so I don't own a Bridgeport. But you guys could tell me, is that a replacement handle for a Bridgeport quill? I could look it up online easy enough, but I don't know. So on the day of the sale, there were several large cardboard boxes on shelves in the tool room with all types of Endmills and everything, and some of them were chock full of carbide cutters, and then there were some that were just all mixed. This was a box that got passed, and I think the reason why this box got passed is because it had very little carbide tooling in it, solid carbide tooling in it, and I think up to that point the auctioneer had just seen the prices going so high on everything, he just assumed that this box should have gone more than it did. He couldn't get an opening bid of, I guess, $50 on this, so it was passed. So when I went there the next day and got the pass list and went through it, I'm not sure if it was 50 that was the opening order, but long story short, he took my offer of 50, but then he still charged me the 15% buyer's premium and the 6%, just over 6% tax. So I'm into this box for about $60, but I'm actually still pretty satisfied with that. So I got a rough idea what was in here. I looked at like maybe 4 or 5 random ones and then decided that it was worth it for me to take a chance on these. Let's clear off the bench and we'll go through these quick and just see if there's anything interesting. Just taking a quick look at all of these Endmills, and a lot of high-speed steel, some coated ones. This one's cobalt. This one's got the TICN coating on it. A couple others that are cobalt. Interesting little radius ones here. These are 30 thousandths female radius ones with a long shank. Here's a 3/8 with a 2-flute 90-degree angle on it. All right, let's see what else we got. Yeah, there's some unusual specialty cutters in this group I bought here. These right here are key seat cutters, but they're very skinny. They're only 30 thousandths of an inch thick. They're 6-flute. They're uncoated. Made in the USA by Harvey Tool. I looked these up on the Harvey Tool website. These cutters new are listed on the Harvey Tool website at like $154 and change a piece. So I'd hate to have to pay for that for a job. But I guess if you need it, you need it. This one, the box is marked used. They even put 1030 PCS. I think they're literally saying that they ran 1,030 pieces. That did 130,000 pieces. And this one might be new. It's the same thing. This is a Titan 4-flute, regular high-speed steel. These are half-inch diameter cobalt roughing T-slot cutters by Interstate Tool. These are all marked new. I haven't looked those up, but I imagine those aren't cheap either. I got 3 of those. And this is a used, what is this? This is a used Interstate high-speed steel cobalt coated TIN 7/8 by 3/4 by 1 1/8 by 3 3/8 overall. Yada yada yada. Roughing end mill. And this next batch, this is just a 2-flute end mill. Somebody marked flat bottom on it, just to, I guess, indicate that it had 0 rake or relief. These are just a couple of regular end mills. This is another one of these T-slot roughing cutters, but this one is a Whitney tool. This is a 30-degree conical cutter. Interesting. Spiral flute. Another 4-fluter, and then there's several of these nice key seat cutters here. Got yeah, these all look like they're in really good shape. Not sure who makes these, and then these are Keo cutters, also key seat cutters. Then there was just, for some reason in this whole lot, there were 3 reamers thrown in there. And then amongst all of this stuff in here, there were these 4 taps. This is a 3/4 40 tap. 3/4 inch, 40 threads per inch. That's kind of wild. This is a Acme tap, 3/8 12. But it's got this wild design here where it almost looks like it's designed to have been used, because it's got swarf in it. Looks like it's designed to cut on the first pass and then be followed up by a second cutter. So I've never seen one like that. I'm sure that's for power tapping only. And then a couple of these Greenfield, these are metric M5 by 0.8. These are 2-flute plug extension taps. So the deal on these are that they're M5 taps with a really long shank on them. Somehow I missed this one. This is another one of these Interstate Tool roughing end mills. It's a 3-fluter. That actually looks brand new. That's got a TIN coating on it. Oh, I think this was a big 26 millimeter reamer. Yeah, big 26 millimeter reamer. I don't know if anybody's going to want that. And this is a high-speed steel black S&D. This must be Deming drill bit. Yep. I don't know how that got in there, but it's all right. So in that whole box, I did actually find a couple of carbide. This is a solid carbide 2-flute. It's a 15/16 inch. And this is a Harvey Tool solid carbide 1/2 inch diameter 1/8 inch key seat cutter. That's brand new. That's probably some big bucks sitting right there. All right, let's move on. And the final past item that I bought was this here that I paid $50 for, and this I may have overspent. So $50 for the contents of this box, plus buyer's premium and tax, puts me into this for about $60. And what this is, there was some stuff in this tray which I put in here, and then all the other stuff that was laying there with this. So let's quickly dump this out. And yeah, so what I've got here is a bunch of assorted insert tooling. They had this listed in the auction as grooving cutters. There's a round insert. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even see that in there. So they were calling this a grooving tool. It's like a thread chaser. Pretty much that's what it is. It's a thread chaser. Unfortunately, there are no other chasers to go in this, so not much versatility there. Oh, here's the one that uses the round inserts. It uses these little round inserts. What's nice about the round inserts is when you chip them, or they wear, you just rotate them a little bit and you get another cutting surface. There you go. This might be a little more worth. Here's a Sandvik Endmill. Here's a Sandvik Coro Cut grooving tool. A couple of random inserts. Oh, here's a Coro turn. So this is a turning tool that looks like it uses those round inserts. Another Endmill. Another cutter there. Another one there. Another. Oh, there's a lathe turning tool. I might be able to use that. Another Coro turn 107. Oh, what is this? I don't know what that is. That's funky. There's a screw in the end. And then these here. These are Valinite mini mills. So that's what came out of here. The Valinite mini mills. Get that one there. Yep. So that's what this set was. This set was these three pieces here, and then I'm not sure, probably just inserts and a couple of things there. Alright guys, that's going to bring this episode to a close. If you like these kind of tool pick videos, please feel free to hit the like button, and if you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing, and maybe even sharing this video. Take care.